Oh, well done, guys, on the colours. Good job. Okay, so Nina,
Ouais.
I'm thrilled that you've all chosen the correct colour, the right colour. I'm thrilled that you've all chosen the correct colour.
Je suis ravie que vous tous aient choisi la bonne couleur.
Good. Now, nice bonne couleur. Let me talk to you about you. When you have a you all want to pop tous in too early. If you have a verb with your concept, the tous or the toutes, if it were feminine, would go differently. So, for example, who's going? All of you, vous tous. But if it's like you've all chosen, vous avez tous choisi, it would go as an adverb after. Okay, so I'm talking to a load of guys. Ah oui, donc vous avez tous choisi de venir. You know, not vous tous avez choisi de venir. Okay, so it's a little bit like saying tous les deux. So if you said both of you have decided to come, ah, vous avez décidé de venir tous les deux. Not vous avez tous les deux décidé de venir. Yeah, you know, who's going? Oh, both of you, tous les deux. Okay, that's different because there's no verb involved. So it's a little bit like in English when you have only. How long are you staying in France? Only 2 weeks. I'm only staying 2 weeks in France. If there's a verb present, you're going to move that all. But all of you try and put the all in the wrong place. So just remember that all goes like an adverb in those examples. Good. But yes, bonne couleur, fine, la couleur correct, whatever, but you know, la bonne couleur because of what we said. Okay. Maggie, we agreed. We agreed. We agreed. What would be we agreed as a verb? We agreed.
Nous sommes d'accord.
Is a status. Nous sommes d'accord, on est d'accord is a status. What is the verb to agree?
The mise en d'accord.
Good, and again and again.
The mise en d'accord.
Se mettre, so on s'est mis d'accord. On s'est mis d'accord. So se mettre à is basically, in an elegant way, to start. Elle s'est mise à pleurer. It just like, you know, il s'est mis à travailler. It can be get down and do it. It can be something you want to start doing, or it can just be start. But être, moi je suis d'accord is a status. Yeah. Maggie and I agreed. So we thought the best thing would be to, you know, alors, on était bien d'accord. We will often use the status. We would use status in the same way. But if you needed to say we agreed, as in we made that decision, yeah. So if we said, do we all agree? You know, do we all agree? Then we say on est bien d'accord. You know, you can use the status as a way of doing it, but the verb is se mettre d'accord. All right. Good. Good. Susan. I wish you were in London. I wish you were in London.
Je voudrais bien que tu étais à Londres.
Now, I knew this would happen because you've got this feeling of I wish and the were, and you'll be thinking, oh, wish is going to go in the conditional. So does that mean the partner verb is the infinitive, is the imperfect? Try and play with j'aimerais bien plus infinitive, or j'aurais bien aimé plus infinitive, or j'aimerais bien que plus person plus subjunctive, or j'aurais bien aimé plus que plus past subjunctive. So I wish you were in London. Oh, j'aimerais bien que tu sois, you know, I wish you were. So j'aimerais bien que tu sois à Londres. And again?
J'aimerais bien que tu sois à Londres.
Oh, mais si tu étais seulement à Londres, fine. There's other ways of doing it. Oh, dommage que tu sois pas là, ma Susan. All this business. But in other words, j'aimerais bien, just because that uses the conditional, doesn't mean we have to use the imperfect with it. But I imagine after last night, you probably want to. So lovely. Nina again. Lovely. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled Nick came to pick me up. And then as Nick say, I'm thrilled I came to pick her up. So say for you as yourself, I'm thrilled Nick came to pick me up. And then as Nick say, I'm thrilled I came to pick her up.
Je suis ravie que Nick soit venu pour me chercher.
Good. You don't need pour all the time with venir. Yeah. So for example, il va venir me voir. You don't need il va venir pour me voir. Moi je vais aller au pub français pour vous voir. I'm going to give the French pub to see you, or somewhere else, whatever. Yeah. Somewhere else. Fine, but Nina va venir me voir. Nina's going to come and see me. Come and see me. We don't need pour all the time.
Okay.
So go again then, but the rest is correct. Lovely. So I'm thrilled Nick came to collect me. Yeah.
Okay. Je suis ravie que Nick soit venu me chercher.
Go again and put the human story where the human story is. Don't make your ravi less ravi by being more interested in the nuts and bolts of the sentence. Oh, je suis ravi que Nick soit venu me chercher.
Ouais. Je suis ravie que Nick soit venu me chercher.
If nothing else, get used to doing that so that you get used to the slow, fast of the sentence. Good. Then be Nick. Take on a virile quality and say, I'm happy. And say, I'm happy I came to pick her up.
Je suis content d'être venu la chercher.
So that formally is more correct than je suis content que je sois venu. Moi, je suis content d'être venu la chercher. Okay, good. It sounds heavier, but if it's the same person, it's much better to use the infinitive. It is. Somebody's messaging me. Oh. You could translate this message. Maggie. Hang on. Let me just actually reply to the message. 1 second. This is quite interesting. This is the most elaborate booty call I've ever come across. I met your doppelganger yesterday. Lovely. Okay. I don't think you're going to age, which is a bit ironic because look at me. But I met your doppelganger yesterday. I don't think you're going to age.
J'ai rencontré quelqu'un qui te ressemble. Je ne peux pas que.
Je ne pense pas.
Je ne pense pas que tu es âgé.
Right. So, je ne pense pas, strictly speaking, gives me what? What does je ne pense pas give me?
Is it? It's a subjunctive.
It does. Alors, je pense pas que ça soit correct, but it's quite. Je pense pas que tu ailles. It's getting quite heavy. We just go. You're not going to age. It's just much more comfortable. What's the verb to age? How do you say old for a man?
Vieillir.
Right. Clean up the vowels. Clean up the vowels. What's old for a man?
Vieux.
Vowels. I need to hear the vowels. Vieux.
Vieux.
I can't hear the vowels. Give me the vowels. Vieux.
Vieux.
That's it. Vieux. Vieux. Okay.
Vieux.
What's old for a woman? Give me the old.
Vieille.
Good. Now, obviously, we'd say quelqu'un plus âgé is a bit more correct. You can say un vieux, une petite vieille, un vieillard. I mean, you can use it in a slightly less polite way, but plus âgé. But the verb, the transformation verb, is vieillir.
Vieillir.
What's the word for white if it's feminine, Maggie?
Blanchir.
That's where I'm going, but give me the word for white if it's feminine first.
Oh, blanche.
Give me the nasal, blanche.
Blanche.
But don't sound, if you sound like English Maggie, you're not French Maggie. What's the verb to go red? Did you like my little innocent Japanese schoolgirl? What's the verb to go red?
Rougir.
Lovely. What's the verb to go yellow?
Jaunir.
Pardon me. What's the word for young?
Jeune. Oh.
What's the word for people, plural, like in a generic, general way?
Jean.
And what's the word for yellow?
Jeune.
Jeune?
Jaune.
I need to hear a difference between these two words. Okay, good, lovely. So to go yellow then would be pop ir on the end.
Jaunir.
Which is where, pardon me, jaundiced comes from with babies. What's the verb to go black? And you never go back. What's the verb to go black?
Noircir.
Noircir, lovely. Okay, good, okay. Lovely, all right. So vieillir. Oh putain, mais dis donc, mais qu'est-ce que t'as vieilli, Luke? You've really gotten older. Okay, that's what Monique said to me, Vero's mum, the last time I saw her. She's like, oh no, Luke. Oh, mais t'as très petite mine, t'as beaucoup vieilli. I was like, oh. Hi, bitch. Lovely. Oof. Headbutt. Good. Susan. What did I want to do? J'aimerais bien. I wish I could come to the party, Luke. I wish I could come to the party. Same person.
J'aimerais bien venir à la soirée.
Yeah, à la fête. Yeah, okay.
À la fête.
Yeah. Oh oui, j'aimerais bien venir. Notice in English, wish is often followed by could. Oh, I wish I could. Oh, Nick, I wish I could come to, you know, we don't need the could. You can obviously say, oh, j'aimerais bien pouvoir venir, but you don't automatically need, oh, j'aimerais bien venir. You don't automatically need, oh, j'aimerais bien pouvoir venir. But you can if you wanted to. Because notice in English, the alternative would be, I wish to come, which is more like intent, isn't it? I wish to come, rather than like, I wish I could come. One suggests you kind of can't, and one suggests, I'm telling you. So Nina's saying, Luke, I wish to come to Besançon. You know, that's like saying, yeah, I'll be coming. You know, I wish, oh, Luke, I wish I could come to Besançon. You know, suggests you kind of can't, but you wish you could. I wish I could have gone to the party. Same person, past tense.
J'aurais bien aimé venir au fête.
So in other words,
à la fête.
In other words, what we were doing last time with when you have an infinitive, so je suis content que, je suis content de. Je suis content que, sujet subjonctif, je suis content que, verbe auxiliaire, whatever. So je suis content que tu viennes, je suis content que tu sois venu, je suis content de venir, je suis content d'être venu. With that work, when it was the same person, we had a de. If we were the same person and we're going in the past, we had an auxiliary on the infinitive. Yeah, so it's tempting to want to say, I wish I could have come, you know, d'avoir pu. Do you understand? It's tempting to use the other system, because I get it. But in other words, with wish, the only thing you're changing is the first bit. So I wish I could come. I wish I could have come, you know, whatever. You're changing the part, you're changing the subordinate clause in English. In French, you're changing the dominant clause. J'aimerais bien, j'aurais bien aimé. And if you need a little bit of a mental thing, Susan, what's I could, talking about something that hasn't happened yet? I could, what would that be?
Je pourrais.
Good. What's I could have, talking about something which has already happened?
J'aurais pu.
J'aurais pu.
J'aurais pu.
Let me hear through the noise. J'aurais pu. Non, j'arrête. Non, j'arrête. J'aurais. Okay. Okay, off you go.
J'aurais pu.
Press on your diaphragm. Go. No, a full, clean, vibrating sound. Right. All of you do this. Hum for me. Good. Open up from a hum to a tu, and your hum needs to vibrate as much as your tu needs to vibrate. Tu. Good. Notice if in French you said it the English way. So if you said to, it would sound less French. It would sound more British, if anything. And notice in the English, if you did it the French way, how many people are coming, Luke? 1, 2. It sounds possessed. I'm going to put the pizza in the oven. I'm going to put the pizza in the four. 1, 2, 3, four. It sounds too vibratory if you put the French into the English, and it sounds fucking shit if you put the English into the French. That's a very technical term, very technical. L'Académie Française agreed on that term. Do you remember when I was in Paris recently and I was outside that l'Institut Français and I was like, this is the building that decides whether something is formally the subjunctive or not. So hate them, not me. So yeah, so in other words, I need this constant vibration. Lovely. Nina. Luke, I'm looking forward to seeing you. Luke, I'm looking forward to seeing you. And obviously, we're going to speak in French.
Luc, j'ai hâte de te voir et évidemment, on va parler en français.
Good. I personally would say on va se parler en français, rather, but on va parler en français is not wrong, but on va se parler en français, okay? Okay. I mean, then we're just getting into register, you know, I mean, we don't need to, la conversation aura lieu en français. We don't need any of that, but just, oui, on va se parler en français. Okay. Good, Nina. I've been speaking French for 3 days. I've been speaking French for 3 days. Hang on, Friday, Saturday, yeah. No, God, longer. Yeah, what am I saying? Let's just say 3 days there. So say for me, I've been speaking French for 3 days.
Je parle français depuis 3 jours.
Or ça fait 3 jours as well. Don't lose ça fait.
Okay.
If ever there's a version of language which resembles the English less, just make sure that your mouth has got that one as well.
Okay.
With the exception of, it's not your fault, because so many people in French say, ce n'est pas de ta faute, and that's wrong. It's ce n'est pas ta, it's not your, ce n'est pas de is wrong, but a load of people say it. Like a load of people say, je me rappelle de. You know, je me rappelle mon enfance, je me souviens de mon enfance. So yeah, but on that occasion, yeah, but most of the time, if there's a way which is more English, great, I'm happy for you. So for example, give me the 2 ways of saying I'm worried. Give me the 2 ways of saying I'm worried for a woman.
Je m'inquiète, je suis inquiète.
Give me them for a man. I'm worried, I'm worried, I'm worried, I'm worried.
Je suis inquiet, je m'inquiète.
What was the second one?
Je m'inquiète.
So what is inquiet? It is an adjective. If je and me is doing something, what follows? A verb. Yeah, so what's the verb to worry?
S'inquiéter.
Good. Or inquiéter, because Maggie worries me. The amount she's drinking. You know, oh putain, Maggie, mais tu m'inquiètes là. You know, like, you don't need to just, so s'inquiéter can be reflexive. Inquiéter can be reflexive. Okay, but it doesn't have to be. So in other words then, so say for me, as a man, say for me, I'm worried.
Je suis inquiet.
Yeah, and now say for me, I'm worried with the verb. The reflexive verb. Say for me, I'm worried with the reflexive verb.
Je m'inquiète.
Je m'inquiète.
It is m'inquiète.
Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah, because I've just told you. So what did I just make you tell me? What was the verb to worry?
Right. Inquiéter.
Good. Make sure we're staying in and we're not dropping to on. Don't drop to on. Lovely. So say for me, as a man, say for me, I'm worried with the adjective, and say for me, I'm worried with the verb.
Okay. Je suis inquiet. et je m'inquiète.
I tell you why that's nasty. Because pretty much everywhere else in English that then works in French, if you have an adjective, which is ed, it means it's taken from a past participle. So, for example, the verb to discover, he was discovered, stimulate, stimulated, he is stimulated, motivated, to verb to motivate. Luke has motivated the children with a whip, coup de fouet. The children are motivated. So we've taken adjectives, and most of the time that will work in French. So if you have an a acute on the end of your adjective, it means it's from a past tense. However, worried, the verb, comes from the adjective worried, rather than the other way around. So people always go, je suis inquiété, right? Do you understand? They go the other way around. So that's why, because for once, but just think there are a couple that in English are a bit of a mess as well. So I closed the door is closed. J'ai fermé la porte est fermée. I opened the door, j'ai ouvert la porte, the door is open, la porte est ouverte. Okay, I opened, we don't say the door is opened. So sometimes we kind of don't go with that as well, but that's basically why you guys don't like that. So if ever there's two of anything, make sure our mouths have practiced the least English option, because guess which option we're going to go with in our brains. Right, talking of two options. So Susan, could you say for me, no, Maggie, could you say for me, if I get my order, I'm used to this kind of thing.
J'ai de l'habitude de faire ce genre de choses.
Maggie, I love you. Because whilst normally I would beat you severely for what you've just said, you've just illustrated my point beautifully. When there are more than one ways of doing something, you will make a shit fuck version of all of them. Not you, but all of you. So, clean it up. I am used to as an adjective. There's your first fucking clue. I am used to as an adjective.
Je m'habituais à.
Go again.
Je m'habituais à.
Go again.
Je m'habituais à.
Pause. I am used to.
Je suis habitué de.
The only thing that was correct from the previous sentence was the à.
Je suis habitué.
And that was the only thing you got rid of. So, say for me, I'm used to this kind of thing.
Je suis habitué à.
This kind of thing.
Oh, je suis habitué à ce genre de choses.
Lovely. Now go again and make it sound like French, because that sounds like Maggie. Okay. That's quiet. So not that I want you to speak like that, but remember our high and low. Je suis habitué à ce genre de choses. So as a rule, any vowel can be cleaned by going more here or more here. Not both, one or the other. Okay? There's times you can choose to go top or bottom, but this isn't one of those times. So basically, go again, Maggie, and I need to hear the Scooby-Doo. Oui, je suis habitué à ce genre de choses. Go on.
Je suis habitué.
No, je suis. I shall try not to be vulgar. Nothing goes in the throat. Things go via the throat from here to here. Oui, je suis. Alors moi je suis. Oui. Yeah. Nothing starts in the throat in French. You don't say je suis. Yeah, because if it starts in the throat, it has no chest resonance and it has no face resonance. So, joking apart, all of you, and I made the boys do this on Thursday, and they did it with Hail Mary. They did it with Hail Mary. It was Marie pleine de grâce. Like they went through, we went through the whole, je vous salue, whatever, and we talked about the fruit of John's womb. So, in other words, it doesn't harm to take a sentence and just to make absolutely sure that we know vibration-wise where that goes. So, Nina vient de voir. O's come forward. Voir son ami Nicolas. Il est très sympa. M's come forward, N's come down and forward. Pas. Okay? Rather, Nina vient de voir son ami Nicolas. Il est très sympa. That's keeping it here. Yeah, we need that here and the here. So joking apart, I might make you do the next sentence in a high and a low way. No, I'll give it Susan to do, but I want you to finish at the used to thing first. So he is, Susan's like, oh, fucking goody. So basically, I am used to this kind of thing. Go again, Maggie, one more time.
Je suis habituée à ce genre de choses.
Now, the join of that was lovely, but if I'm honest, it still sounds like a very sexy rustling leaf in winter. Je suis habitué. It's fine to have an airy voice, but it's got to have, oui, je suis habitué à ce genre de choses. It just needs that little bit more vowel in it. Good. I am used to this kind of thing. No, I'm used to doing this kind of thing with the word habitude in it. I'm used to doing this kind of thing with the word habitude in it.
J'ai l'habitude de le faire, ce genre de choses.
Go again, all joined up.
J'ai l'habitude de le faire.
That's another muscle memory. Well done, you. Good job. But that's not the sentence we're doing. I'm used to doing this kind of thing.
Oh, j'ai l'habitude de faire ce genre de choses.
Faster.
J'ai l'habitude de le faire de son.
No.
J'ai l'habitude de faire ce genre de choses.
We don't just practice speed for the sake of speed. Nobody, unless they're on something, needs to. Oui, alors j'ai l'habitude de faire ce genre de choses. You don't need it all the time. It's good for your listening. It's better for your muscle memory. And also, if you're speaking in an English mouth position, which is not nice with blended vegetable, then you can't go that fast. So another reason the speed is quite useful is because it basically says, look, if you can go, smoking is for dickheads. I repeat, dickheads. Smoking is for dickheads. But if you basically, what have I got here that's the size of a cigarette? Oh, by the way, look, I even did the maroon on the legs. Are you impressed? Right, 1 second then. We'll go with the beak razor. I know they're cheap, they're nasty, they're double blades, but if you use avocado oil, you can use a single blade razor, let alone a double blazer. This brand, Nina, Beak, this is why we call a biro, a ballpoint pen, Beak in France, because this brand are the big producers of pens. So that's why, like, you know, un stylo, un Beak, that because it comes from this brand. So if we were smoking, perfect lip position. Oui, alors moi j'ai l'habitude de faire ce genre de choses. Not j'ai l'habitude that, you know, so smoking is for dickheads, but if you imagined you were smoking and then went, oui, alors moi j'ai l'habitude de faire ce genre de choses, that's better. Yeah. And if you watch TV presenters, so who's the guy that I'm thinking of that presents like The Voice, la plus belle voix. If it's like, bonjour, monsieur, dame, alors ce soir, je vais vous, you know, if it's French still and it's joined, but you see this going on, it's TV presenter. Yeah, it's animateur, animatrice, présentateur, présentatrice. If the guest comes on and he's like, ouais, je suis ravi d'être là, man, you know, that's not him. And if he's like, oui, alors moi je suis ravi d'être là, de vous accueillir ce soir. If it gets a bit teethy, then you are somebody in a bit of a service role, and you've already got a service role, Maggie, you're married. So, you know, we don't want that. Good, so we've got avoir l'habitude de, être habitué à, and then we've got our third one, Maggie. I know it's a long time on you, but it's just the one it's landed on. What's I'm getting used to this kind of thing, which is the process.
Je m'habitué.
Look. All of you have got bits of broken pottery well, you've got most of a sentence learned. So, je m'y habitue is a lovely bit of French from somewhere else. So I'm getting used to this kind of thing. You can't use a pronoun I. So well done. You would use I because the preposition is a.
Yeah.
So, but if you've got the pronoun there if you've got the actual object in full, you can't use the pronoun. So say for me, I'm getting used to this kind of thing.
Je m'habitue à. Je m'habitue à.
This kind of thing.
Sorry. Je m'habitue à ce genre de choses.
Good. Now, I don't mind in an academic way. You say, notice adjective and past tense. Again, I used to, habitué. What did I say? If you hear an E acute, yeah, accent aigu, that means that you've obviously taken something from the passé composé. So, je suis habitué à, je m'habitue à, alors je vais m'habituer à. So I don't mind in an academic way, you guys practicing and going, s'habituer à, or, you know, commencer à, continuer à. You can say de, but continuer à. They've got a slight registral difference. Décider de. I don't mind you hamming that up for the purposes of learning, but don't fucking practice anything in a way that you're not going to speak, because then when you're speaking all joined up, you won't have appropriate muscle memory, because no one says, je vais m'habituer à. I'd slap it. I'd kill it with fire. I would kill it with fire. I'd be like, so in other words, say all three for me. I'm used to this kind of thing. Je suis habitué à ce genre de choses. I'm used to doing this kind of thing. J'ai l'habitude de faire. So we've got être habitué à, avoir l'habitude de, and s'habituer à. So say all three for me. Je suis habitué à ce genre de choses. J'ai l'habitude de faire ce genre de choses. Je m'habitue à ce genre de choses.
Je suis habituée à faire le genre de choses.
Pause, look at me. Broken bits of pottery. Dabitude is a good muscle memory. It is an incomplete muscle memory. Give me the complete pottery. Don't give me the broken piece of china. Where else? Where do I hear dabitude? It's a good piece of china. Anybody? Susan, where else would I hear dabitude?
Comme d'habitude.
Comme d'habitude.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a good piece of china, but it's not the whole thing. You put a broken piece over another broken piece. Yeah. So only say the whole sentence. That's why, at the risk of sounding like a boring old gay, you need to say the whole sentence from the beginning to the end. Because now you're advanced, you're going to have similar things that sound really similar. All right. We didn't need to say similar twice there. All right. Good. So in other words, when you've got multiple ways of saying an expression, be careful. Susan, before I give you the other thing to do, can you give me I trust Luke? 2 ways. I trust Luke. 2 ways.
Je me confie en Luc.
So confier is to trust something to somebody. So in other words, the 2 versions I want is confiance. They both involve confiance.
J'ai de la confiance en Luc.
Now pause. This is another issue. When you use a noun, I've slapped you all so that you know that before a noun we need a de if it's after a quantity, or a du de la day. Okay? And you guys are nervous about saying a noun out of nowhere, and I get that. All right? How would you say, Susan, I have bread? I have bread. How would you just say I have bread?
J'ai du pain.
Good, because we're not talking about all bread. J'ai le pain. We're not talking about specific bread. We're not talking about a quantity of bread. Beaucoup de pain. Less bread, moins de pain. Okay? We're talking about, alors moi j'ai du pain. J'ai de l'eau, j'ai du vin, du pain, du boursin, whatever. But if you said, but some phrasal expressions don't treat the noun like a noun. So for example, j'ai peur. Peur is a noun, but you don't say j'ai. So you can be like, you know, j'ai la flemme, j'ai le, you know, whatever, you know, la honte, whatever expressions, but j'ai honte. You know, so sometimes phrasal expressions use nouns on their own. And the mouth as a learner that's gone, I can't do that, doesn't like it. So there are phrasal expressions which don't do this. Faire la queue. Yeah, we don't say faire que. Okay? Faire la queue. Tu fais la queue, tu restes là. Okay? Yeah. But if you said be careful, you don't say faire l'attention. You say faire attention. So just be mindful of the fact that some phrasals don't have a the before or a some, a partitive article before the noun. So in other words, this one doesn't either. So I need confiance. So what's I trust Luke?
J'ai confiance en Luc.
Lovely. So there's avoir confiance en quelqu'un, or also using confiance. What's that other method, which also uses confiance? There's a really nice trick. Is this on the left of my face on your screen?
Yes.
Okay. Avoir confiance en, so 1A, or faire confiance à. Okay? Avoir confiance en, faire confiance à. There's only one A. You don't say avoir confiance à. Okay? So, what do we automatically do, Susan, if the expression that we're being told to practice doesn't involve... Well, no, let's go again. What do we automatically do if the expression that we hear involves me, te, nous, ou vous? What must we do as learners at you guys level?
Put it in a sentence and say it to memorize it, to
but in what
muscle memory?
Yeah, that's what I assume all of that shit. But what do you do if the express right? So if you hear ça m'arrive as an expression, what must you guys do? You in my group, what do we do? If we hear a me, te, nous, vous as an expression, what must you do? Anybody else? Nina?
Practice in the third person.
Practice in the third person. And what kind of third people? There's two third people options. What are my two options? I don't mean single and plural. What are my two options in the third person, Nina?
Indirect and direct.
Lovely. That's all good. That's gorgeous. That's correct as well. But what else? With a pronoun, without a pronoun. Because you don't need to practice it direct or indirect. It will be direct or indirect. Yeah, it will be direct or indirect. What I'm saying is, if you come across an expression, don't just practice. Right, so if you hear, il me fait confiance. You go, oh yeah, fine. Trust. Okay, but straight away go, okay, he trusts her. Is it il la fait confiance? Il lui fait confiance. Which one do you think it is, Susan?
I think it's il lui fait confiance.
Good. Now we know that from faire confiance à. We also know it why. In the verb faire confiance, what's being fed, Susan?
The confidence.
There you go. So it's already got a direct object. Il me faut, il me reste, il me manque. How do you say he? How would you do all of those with a he, Susan?
And the third person, il lui manque.
Thank you. Why? Because if you listen to il manque, oh putain merde, il manque une chaise. Mince, on est combien de personnes? On est 10 personnes, il manque une chaise. We're going manque into une chaise. We have no, the direct and the indirect is literal. Do you literally go from manquer into chaise? Well, une chaise. Yeah. So that means it's direct. So that means the person is indirect, and not as I could slap all of you when people go, il me manque, il te manque, il se manque. Why would it be reflexive? We've had il me, il te. Il me is not reflexive. So yeah, so good. So often you can work it out. But in other words, and if you come across an expression, permettre à quelqu'un de faire quelque chose. So straight away, you should practice right. Il me permet de parler. Luc, il me permet de parler, whatever. You know, il m'aide à parler, whatever. Straight away, go, Luc, you know, je permets à mon fils de faire quelque chose. Je lui permets. So straight away, check whether, as Nina said, it is direct and indirect. Okay. How would you do that, Susan? How would you check if it was direct or indirect?
I could put it in the first person and see if I use me.
No, because me wouldn't tell you, would it? Because me and te and nous and vous. I'm saying those really. Me and te and nous and vous. Me and te and nous and vous are basically, they're fucking direct and indirect and reflexive. And reflexive and reciprocal, and two of them are reciprocal direct and reciprocal indirect. So the me doesn't give you shit. Where do you go to check them? Other than whether your math knows them, but what don't just say the dictionary. How do you look it up? What are you looking for?
I Google
like
it.
if you wanted to check a verb, what information are you looking for when you look it up online to work that out?
Oh, I'm looking to see if it's a transitive verb or not.
That's right. Well, transitive means like the requisite, you know, the fact that it requires like the object per se. But yes, so in other words, in the dictionary, there's two ways of doing this. Option one was it will basically say trans-ind, like, which means like indirect transitive, which straight away tells you that what links you between the verb to the object is indirect. It will just have the normal transitive signal. Nina, you say when you've got to go. That's good.
I'm here too.
you've
I'm
got
so
to go.
sorry.
That's all right.
Really
That's fine. Okay. Good. So good. So we'll finish the topic, Nina, because you've got some to do anyway. Yeah. So in other words, you'll look that up, and if it's got transitive, sometimes it'll just have the transitive symbol, and you might go, well, does that mean transitive direct or transitive indirect? The way dictionaries do it is if it's just standard. If it's direct, it would just put the standard transitive symbol in. If it's indirect, it will bother to tell you. All right. Or where else do we look, Nina? What's the other little thing we look for?
I would think you just look to see if it has a preposition.
Yes, on the side in brackets, you go down until you hear the dictionary infinitive. What words am I going to spot in a dictionary infinitive?
Prepositions, a ou de.
And how would it demonstrate it? So, for example, what would be the prepositional definition then of permettre, for example?
Permettre à quelqu'un de.
Lovely.
Faire...
So what word? Good. So what word did you see after a?
Quelqu'un.
Good. De faire what? Sorry, de faire. So then there's faire, and then there's quelque chose.
Right.
So dictionaries love to use quelqu'un, often in code, quelque chose, often in code, faire, often in code. Yeah, and that's the bracket, parenthesis, parenthèse, and it'll say to allow someone to do something, permettre à quelque, you know, faire quelque QCH, you know, it'll have all that stuff. Yeah, good, excellent. So in other words, go back to Madam's examples. Say, I trust him, using either of the two methods that she said.
Je fais lui confiance. J'ai confiance en lui.
Give me the first version again.
Sorry. Je lui fais confiance.
Lovely. Run it through in your mouth. Je lui fais confiance.
Je lui fais confiance. Je lui fais confiance.
So this is my point. You totally know those two infinitives. We've just done them. But your musical mouth, which is how you're working more and more organically, has just heard a piece of melody that ends in lui. So you're thinking trust, and you're hearing the song that ends with lui. So that's going to knock you very heavily off kilter. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I could tell it didn't feel right either.
The muscle memory is where we want shit, but it does if done properly. And congratulations to you for throwing yourself into it. It does disengage academic memory.
Yeah.
It fucking should, because you shouldn't be walking around going, You should be walking around going, Nick, this looks nice. Should we sit down? Should we have a coffee? That's what you should be thinking about. Or nice bit of blue sky. Or daffodils up already. Global warming, but pretty. You know, that's what you should be thinking today. So yeah, so in other words, if you make a mistake and people go, oh my God, I'm so stupid, I'm like, no, you're not stupid. It's because you're throwing yourself across to the organic way of doing it, which is the only way we can progress to properly fluent, by doing that. Otherwise, we're constantly, doing that. Good, Nina. So do a little bit more for me. Unfortunately, the girls had to leave.
Malheureusement, les nanas.
Now you're remembering. You remember every fucking thing I give you. You're remembering Besançon and l'appartement of the guys, and then it was l'appartement des mecs, l'appartement des nanas. That's what you're thinking of, yeah. Nana's fine, but fille,
Okay.
fille, gonzesse, meuf. No, yeah, fine. So just les filles. Okay. So unfortunately, the girls had to leave.
Malheureusement, les filles ont dû partir.
Good. Now go again, and don't let two things dictate which word wins. Don't let the one that your mouth prefers that vibration on. So your mouth gave me a gorgeous Jew. It was really lovely. Okay, it's very nice. And your mouth went, ooh, I like this sound. Also, academically, you were thinking about that. But no offense, as your teacher, Lukey's very happy, clap, 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 clap. But a French speaker wouldn't be, oh, well done, she did do. I mean, they'd probably go, fuck, this American speaks really well. But they wouldn't go, oh, well done, she did do. So in other words, you still need to take it back to, what's the human story that you're telling me? There we go. So unfortunately, the girls needed to leave.
Malheureusement, les filles ont dû partir.
Malheureusement, les filles ont dû partir. So remember, we don't slap. We save that for acid. So Nina is a really good student. We pop a pause before a word we stress in English, and we pop a pause after it. Nina is a really good student. Hear the pauses? Sienna, I'm not being funny, but I've told you 3 times. Could you just, idea room us just a sec, just a little bit, please. Okay, good. Not in French. Je t'ai dit 3 fois qu'il faut ranger ta chambre. Yeah, we join the bit that's blurred to the stress word, and stress doesn't mean stress. Stress could mean think of it as submitting. Yeah, you're submitting something. Okay, not like submissive. Like do you know what Ni pute ni soumise is? Do you know that charity? So there's a charity in France called Ni pute ni soumise, which is like neither a whore nor submissive, which is basically like a women's charity. But yeah, so I don't mean submissive like that. I mean submit, like as in put it forward. So oh, malheureusement les filles ont dû partir. Yeah. Okay. Good. So we want to practice blur like Skype backgrounds. This is not what you'd want to submit, not anymore. But malheureusement, les filles ont dû partir. So we don't go les filles ont dû partir. Okay. It is one way of making a stress. Bien, mal, pas, possibly. But oh putain, j'ai bien mangé. But remember, interest can be higher. Oh, il est beau. Lower. Oh, il est beau. Slower. Oh, il est beau. Oh, il est beau. There's only one kind of, that's one of 4. And also, I don't need that one because you know how to do it off by heart because you're first language English speaker. And also, it doesn't teach you to go fast and slow with the text. All right, so good. I think Maggie's going to have to do the same thing every week because her son has started piano lessons. I think Maggie's going to have to do the same thing every week because her son has started piano lessons.
Je pense que Maggie va pouvoir faire la même chose chaque semaine. 2 fois. Parce que son fils a commencé à ses cours de piano.
So, where do you think I mean, I got to the end and I understood it perfectly, but where do you think your stress is? Where do you think which words do you think you told me were interesting when you said that sentence?
The ones that I had to think about.
I know. So that became incredibly interesting for you. Tu as, je pense que Maggie va. But notice it isn't that you have to think about. You, Nina, have not got a fucking worry in the world about Maggie's going to have. I mean, you know,
right.
that's not a problem. You found it a convenient point before the difficulty.
Yeah.
So here's another reason why we like to submit something as an advanced learner. It gives you a resting point. I'm giving you resting points. So don't just go, I'm going to submit a word because it's interesting. Think, yeah, hell, and I'm going to think on that bit for the next bit. Don't go submit word and then I'm going to think on the modal verbs like devoir, pouvoir, and then the relative pronouns like que. Tu as, je t'ai dit que.
Yeah.
No. So Maggie va devoir. So Maggie's going to leave. What did I say? Maggie's going to have to leave.
Have to do the same thing.
Maggie's going to have to do the same thing every week because her son's. Did I say just started or started? I think I said her son started piano lessons. So Maggie, even slowly, Maggie va devoir faire la même chose. So stress on même, because that's the story. Maggie va devoir faire devoir, not Maggie va devoir, or Maggie va devoir. No, Maggie va devoir faire la même chose parce que son fils, it's not son fils, unless it were her son has started piano lessons and her daughter pole dancing, whatever, you know. Maggie va devoir faire la même chose chaque semaine parce que son fils, we're not interested in son fils. It's not that we're not interested. He's in the sentence. That's enough.
Yeah.
He's in the sentence. Yeah. Son fils a commencé, and then we're talking about the piano lessons, you know, cours de piano. That's our interesting thing.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Good. Lovely. Do one more for me. And I know you can clean this up afterwards,
Yeah.
but we only get one sentence.
It's already cleaned up in my head, so.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like just smidge more slowly and just think, when am I submitting? All right, good. Luke, I promise you, I will do it. You can count on me. No, Luke, I promise you, I will do it. You can trust me. Luke, I promise you, I will do it. You can trust me.
Luc, je te jure que je vais le faire. Tu peux m'avoir confiance.
Now, I deliberately gave you a couple of nasty things.
Ouais.
Firstly, je te jure is a lovely go-round. A little bit more, je te jure, but it's jure, not jour, because bonjour, je te jure, okay? Secondly, je te promets is fine as well. Yeah, je te promets, je te jure, okay? Je te supplie. You know, I promise you, no. It's not what we do a lot as work, but notice sometimes I just put two independent clauses back to back. So I said, I promise you, I'm going to do it.
Ouais.
So whilst it's je te promets que je vais le faire, je te promets, je vais le faire. You can have those sentences without. If you, I promise you, I'm going to do it. I promise that I'm going to do it. Obviously, je te promets que that's fine. But je te promets, je vais le faire. Don't lose, you know, that thing. I mean, in other words, it's a very nice reflex to pop the cut in there, but we can just sometimes do them separately. Good. And then you know, when we do our methods, pardon me, there's someone at the door. I'll be one sec.
Okay.
Oh, I fucking hate stairs. Right. Yeah. So basically, you know, when we do our end on one, I tell Mark I'm just coming. So end on one. Could you just say for me, I get on well. No, what should we do? I remember the situation. Do it for me. No, you too. You remember the situation in all 10. No, in all 11, because I want you to include the infinitive to make my point. So off you go. You remember the situation using se souvenir de rather than se rappeler. So you remember the situation.
Tu te souviens de la situation, tu te souvenais de la situation, tu te souviendras de la situation, tu te souviendrais de la situation. C'est intéressant que tu te souviennes de la situation. Tu t'es souvenu de la situation, étais souvenu de la situation, tu te seras souvenu de la situation, tu te serais souvenu de la situation. C'est intéressant que tu te sois souvenu de la situation. Et
L'onzième is you're going. No. You're going to remember the situation.
Ah, tu vas te.
Now, isn't this interesting? When you have mangé, you're like, are you guys for fucking real? You want me to practice the infinitive? All of you are like, what? Tu vas manger? Why would I have a problem with that? The minute you have anything else going on, it gets interesting. You just beautifully fucking wait. Tu te souviens, tu te souvenais, tu te souviendras, tu te souviendras, tu t'es souvenu, tu t'es souvenu, tu vas te souvenir. Why is it interesting? Point number one. Tu te are being ripped apart for the first time because it's the infinitive. Point number two. Adverbs will go in different places. Tu te souviens bien, bien, tu t'es bien souvenu de whatever, you know, tu vas pas, tu vas jamais. The adverb will go there rather than after the verb like we've seen before. So we've got that going on in the mouth. Secondly, it's not just about go. People always go, oh, do you practice the go because it's a common virtual tense? Fuck no. You should remember the situation. Tu devrais. Mais tu devrais te souvenir de la situation. You should. You could have. You know, you're going to have to remember the situation. Come on, remember, where were we? Where did I park the car? You know, oh non, mais tu vas devoir te souvenir de la, you know. So we need infinitives, particularly in phrasal form. So all of you, and don't get me wrong, I'm really happy. All of you go, tu lui en veux, tu lui en voulais, tu lui en voudrais, en voudras, tu lui en voudrais. C'est bizarre que tu lui en veuilles, tu lui en as voulu, tu lui en avais voulu, tu vas lui en vouloir. Yeah? And at your level, tu vas pas lui en vouloir. You're not going to resent him. Yeah? Do you know what I mean? If your brother annoyed your mom when you were in England, you're not going to resent him. You're just going to go, that's what he does, whatever. You know, so tu vas pas lui en vouloir. You shouldn't resent him. Tu devrais pas lui en vouloir, for example. All right. So at the risk of being boring, and then finally, because I've got it, but at your level, really, it should be 12, because you should also be practicing the infinitive auxiliary version. Do you know what I mean? Like, je suis ravi de m'être souvenu de whatever. You know, like, whilst it's less common, après m'être souvenu. You know, so we need the infinitive. You know, je suis content de m'en avoir, de lui en avoir, whatever. You know, we need the auxiliary in the middle version. So really, that's not as urgent, but the fucking 11th one is. Yeah. All right? And I don't take any pleasure in you fucking it up, but it's shit that you can just go like that when we get the infinitive version. So any, like we just did, s'habituer à. You know, faire peur. You know, faire confiance. So faire confiance à, tu vas faire confiance, tu vas lui faire confiance, tu vas faire confiance à Luc, tu vas avoir confiance en Luc, tu vas, yeah, do you know what I mean? Good. What's up, me? I look forward to seeing you both very soon, all right? I'm going to go and teach Mark.
Okay.
Well done. Good job.
Thank you.
Nick's like, I know what Nick's thinking. Nick, il est fort, mais putain, mais qu'est-ce qu'il adore les gros mots.
Ça me dérange pas du tout, ça va.
Oh non, mais justement, c'est ça qui m'a impressionné en fait. C'était quand tu étais, voilà, quand tu nous as rejoint, machin, on était à table en train de manger, enfin, on était, je veux dire. Ouais, et à un moment donné, tu as dit, mais Luc, mais voilà, ils sont enfin elles, parce que il y avait que des femmes, elles sont familières avec ce genre de vocabulaire. Je dis ouais, tout à fait. Justement, j'adore faire ce genre de et t'étais oh mais formidable parce que alors pour toi ça représente la France, le français si j'ose le dire. Tu vois?
Oui, il y a le français correctement parlé,
Ben voilà, mais
et puis
correctement
il y a
entre
le
guillemets.
français de tous les jours.
Voilà,
Et
putain,
puis,
tu vois,
en fait, le français de
et
tous les
j'en ai
jours
marre, tu me fais
comprend des
chier quoi.
insultes,
Ouais, si on arrive à
comprend des
parler.
mots.
Je voudrais vous. Non, 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 non. Il faut pouvoir s'exprimer, quoi.
Bah, bien sûr.
See you soon. Take care. Loads of love.
À plus. Bonne soirée.